Now, after days of protests against China's stringent COVID restrictions, the Chinese government has finally reacted and has called the reports of protests as simply inaccurate. This as there are reports of several protesters being detained in Shanghai. The scores of demonstrators in fact gathered in the capital city of Beijing and also in the financial hub of Shanghai on Sunday night. They held up blank pieces of paper to express their discontent on China's censorship of these protests. Many of the protesters even called for President Xi Jinping to step down. Now, the demonstrators also clashed with the police in Shanghai. The videos on your screens show the police, in fact, detaining several of the demonstrators who were then taken away. Now, this public display of dissent and civil disobedience is almost unprecedented in mainland China. It, of course, is a clear cry for freedom and for the relaxation of the zero COVID rules across Chinese cities, and also against President Xi Jinping, who, in fact, remember, stated that he intends to double down on his pet zero COVID policy. And one of the most controversial aspects of the zero COVID policy, in fact, came to light in the capital of Xinjiang, where a deadly fire in the city of Urumqi could not be put out in time because of the many zero COVID policy barriers that had been set up, which resulted in the fire engines reaching the place pretty late, which resulted in people losing their lives. But the Chinese government is blamed on what it has described as forces with ulterior motives for linking the deadly fire in Xinjiang to the strict COVID measures. The Chinese Foreign Ministry has also said that the reports of protests in Beijing and Shanghai simply do not reflect the reality on the ground.
What you mentioned does not reflect what actually happened. China has been following the dynamic zero COVID policy and has been making adjustments based on the reality on the ground. And as we speak, China is following the 9th version of the pandemic protocols and 20 measures. We believe that with the leadership of the Communist Party of China and cooperation of the Chinese people, our fight against COVID-19 will be successful.
And today there's heavy barricading and security on the streets of Shanghai. The authorities have in fact put up barriers around a city centre area, where hundreds of people have in fact protested over the weekend, and there was no sign of new protests on Monday in Beijing or in Shanghai. Now, China has said that foreign journalists are in fact welcome to come and to report on these activities in their country.
China has always welcomed foreign journalists to conduct reporting activities in China in accordance with relevant laws and regulations, and has done a lot to facilitate their reporting and provide convenience for them. At the same time, while conducting reporting activities in China, foreign journalists need to consciously follow Chinese laws and regulations.
Now, the anti-lockdown protests have also spread to other parts of the world. A large crowd of people gathered outside of the Chinese embassy in London, calling for an end to Chinese President Xi Jinping's restrictive zero-COVID policy. The videos on your screens show people standing outside the Chinese embassy with placards and also chanting slogans of "Down with Xi Jinping." WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.